This issue of the political appointees, I wish to bring to your attention, as I said earlier, no political appointee has been received a letter. In some cases, they're being persuaded to resign, which would be the easiest thing and most honorable thing to do. And I wish to point out that two persons did that. Mr. McWilfred sent in his resignation, handed over his keys, handed over his vehicle, handed over his office, and Mr. Mark Curtin both resigned and did the honorable thing. The President, former President Mr. Granger, returned his cars and was given his selection of cars to take with him. And so we can do this in a very honorable and dignified manner. Unfortunately, there are a number of political appointees who have been advised to hand over their vehicles. They have not handed over the vehicles as yet. They've been advised to vacate the premises that are paid for by the taxpayers. They have not done so. And so we are not the ones looking for a fight. In fact, it is those who don't want to give up that are looking for a fight. So Mr. Granger, take note. Tell your appointees that came under your government to behave in an honorable way and do as you did, hand over. But if they're looking as if it's the bully boy, this is bully boy season still, because bullyism ended on August the 2nd when the results were declared. And we'd had enough of 5 months of bullyism and torture. And so I find it rather amusing that the former president will speak about decency and use loaded words as witch hunt and threaten consequences. But I do want to say this, that we have found out that there are many political appointees in almost every ministry. So from the Office of the President, we are handling those and managing and looking at how to address the political appointees that are here in the Office of the President. However, there are political appointees in almost every sector. Letters have gone out to. So whilst we have not dismissed people and terminated people, and we've tried to persuade them a week later to resign, that we have asked people to remove from government residences they occupy and which are paid for by the taxpayers. And of course there's a new government coming in, so we do need quarters as well. We also have ministers who don't live in Georgetown and who would have to be accommodated. All the ministries, as I said, are stacked with political appointees as advisors, special project officers, heads of departments that don't exist. Some have never been seen in some of the ministries. And we have to remember too that political appointees are there because they are hired usually by the president and his government to help him and the government or her carry out the policies and programs of that government. When that president is no longer there and that government is no longer there, the rationale, the raison d'etre for those political appointees has come to an end, and therefore they have no role to play. We have understood that Ms. Carol Smith-Joseph is an advisory position in the Ministry of Natural Resources. Well, we all know the role Ms. Joseph played during the elections and post-elections and the recount and all the way through. Mr. Ronald Barker, right here at the Office of the President, was accounting agent for the APNU+AFC. And we know that he was very active and did the work for his party well. We have no problem with him working for his party well. That's his political duty. However, we do have a problem with him seeming to believe that he does not have to hand over his office, does not have to hand over his vehicle, and does not have to move out of government quarters. Mrs. Chandan Edwards was every day at the recount, and we know her role in trying to influence the chairperson of the GCOM. She also has not abided and followed the example of former President Mr. Granger. Ironically, Harman and Chandan have both asked for 42 days leave starting Monday on, and so we are kind of surprised by this. Is this a sign that they wish to serve under the People's Progressive Party government? Rather strange that in the midst of all this they want leave.